I'm doing because I like this or I want to do this. So good part of that is I mean, sometimes I feel I could survive this business because we were working in Japan. While the business itself, the journey is difficult, but these instances where your Japanese customer ensures that you don't go down, or your colleagues, friends, well wishers push you into something and help you out. I think that journey overall, I think it was beautiful.
And again, what made you take over a Japanese company?
In Japan, what happens is you are growing a certain pace, right? But at the end of the day, getting into core Japanese companies or ability to hire really, really Japanese people or engineers, in that sense, is difficult for foreign countries.
Hello, friends. Welcome to yet another episode of Power Lunch with Corporate Tycoons Magazine. I'm Chandran Iyer, editor and publisher of Corporate Tycoons Magazine. What is Power Lunch? Power Lunch is the weekly series wherein I meet interesting entrepreneurs, visionaries, and outstanding business leaders and movers and shakers of the society who have made a great deal of difference in their life and to the country. Today, I have with me a very interesting entrepreneur, Mr. Sunil Kulkarni of Fiddlesoft. And the most interesting thing about Fiddlesoft is that a Pune-based company, it has now taken over a company, IM Corporation of Japan. Welcome to my podcast, Mr. Kulkarni.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate your time today and giving me this opportunity to be with you over this great lunch. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Kulkarni, you had a good job earlier. What made you leave the job and think of starting this company, Fiddlesoft?
Thank Thanks a lot. And I think many times I get this asked often that, Arey, you don't come from a business background and what made you start this? I think there's no, I mean, looking back, I can give you some answer, but sometimes over the period, unknowingly you notice some things and those impact your thoughts. So like when I was 11, 12, for example, one of my friends used, and his dad used to run a crackers shop. And we used to go there to help. And then we used to observe them. कैसे काम कर रहे थे. And when I look back, I think these small instances around me kind of maybe induced some kind of effect on me. And then in 2001, I turned 30. Sometimes I feel this also. But Indian that around 2000, we always thought कि आदमी का age is around 60. 30 years तो ऐसे ही चला गया टाइम. And then in the next 30 years, I would like to do something different. And just these few thoughts made me come out and just jump out. And then because we were like professionals, IT professionals, if you don't do well in next 2 years, we can always go back to the job. That was that. And my wife, she was again working in that sense. So I thought, okay, why not try? So looking back, I don't think there was a specific strategy, vision, business plan or something. Whatever I'm doing, can I deliver this faster, cheaper, or better to someone? And just plunged into entrepreneurship.
See, that's so interesting. Oh, your wife was working, so she was carrying the safety net at that time when you were working.
Absolutely. I think they always say, while you, like behind every successful man, there's always a woman.
Yes. Yeah.
So she was there, and her job or her support kind of helped me to take different challenges on and on. But I think that also played. Secondly, we were young. Like, fast forward now, 40s or 50s later, अभी हम लोग सोचता है कि अरे वो kids fee, that old age, parent, this many things. Even if you want to take a leave, many times people think twice. Why? Because, but when you're 20s or 30s, let's say, what max क्या हो जाएगा? Let's try it out. I think that was the
But problem क्या है कि the road of entrepreneurship is not linear. It's zigzag. It's like a roller coaster ride. कभी ऊपर जाते हैं, कभी एकदम नीचे आते हैं, कभी बहुत नीचे आने के बाद क्या हुआ, कैसा लगा? Would you narrate something about that?
I think there are, as you like mentioned, sometimes you blame yourself. Yeah, everything was going well. You had a great job. You had working well. You get paid timely. Salary अच्छा है. What made me think like this and jump into this kind of thing? So you have all this kind of time, but then there is always this thing. I'm doing because I like this, or I want to do this. So good part of that is sometimes I feel I could survive this business because we were working in Japan. So because Japan का क्या है ना, one good part of Japan and especially the SME or big companies is you get paid on time. So imagine in the initial years without a loan, without anything, you still can do. Because the moment you deliver something, you are going to get paid in 30, 45, 60 days, whatever, on time. So I think the good part of these things that there was the customers would pay on time, or the good part of again Japan or bad part. Once you establish relation, it's like falling in love. ऐसा है कि जापान का ना वो कस्टमर साथ में तुम छोड़ भी नहीं सकते, आपने सोचा भी क्या मुझे बिजनेस नहीं करना है इनसे, so you cannot leave them, and then they'll approach you, and it's a kind of relationship that becomes so deep that so I think while the business itself, the journey is difficult, but these instances where your Japanese customer ensures that you don't go down, or your colleagues, friends, well-wishers push you into something and help you out. I think that journey overall, I think it was beautiful.
I'll again come to Japan, but before that, I would like to know more about Fiddle Softtech in very common man's language. Exactly what you do and what exactly you deliver, what sort of service you give. Absolutely simple way में बताइए.
So we develop software. Or we manage your infrastructure as in network security. So in that sense, it's a typical IT services firm. We went to Japan. We were doing the software development or anything. So our company is an extension of our IT services. Only thing is when we are working with Japan, everything has to be delivered mostly in Japanese language. Training manual of Japanese, user interface in Japanese, error message has to be in Japanese, everything. So that gave us an idea that we are good in delivering an IT service with the last mile delivery in local language. For Japan, it's Japanese. In case of India, it could be Hindi, Telugu, Tamil. So today, if you are developing a, let's say, payroll application, attendance, dealer network, dealer system, or whatever, you can go to any IT company. Look, we are one of them. But the moment you say कि car dealership का voucher or receipt or invoice has to be in Punjabi, in Bahasa, in Japanese, then we come into picture. Managing that language and technology together, that became our specialty. So if you don't need language, so we are just one of the IT services. We'll develop software, we'll develop these knockout technologies or whatever, we'll implement that. But our specialty comes from that we'll bring in the language layer. हम लोग बोलते हैं कि आपको जावा आता है ग्रेट, पर जावा एंड मराठी आता है क्या? Then you are my this is the ideal candidate for. आपको वो मराठी में भी मराठवाड़ा मराठी आता है क्या? बहुत अच्छा है, because अभी AI में when you're building or training AI engine or building new different multilingual LLMs, you require a flavor of we are creating data sets, right? So we हमको सब ऐसा लगता है. तो these days हम लोग बोलते हैं कि resume में आप सिर्फ इंग्लिश मत डालो, इंग्लिश के साथ अपना लोकल लैंग्वेज एंड क्या फ्लेवर है वो भी डालो, यू गेट हाईलाइटेड मोर.
The only thing I know about Japanese language is sayonara. इसके अलावा मुझे कुछ नहीं आता है. Tell me, how fluently you can speak Japanese?
I think language, as in language only take Japanese language. It is never enough, right? भाषा तो भाषा है, लेकिन मराठी में भी और हिंदी में भी there's so much to learn if you look from a linguistic perspective. I mean, these days we use it for user perspective. So I have to do business, I have to live my daily life, I have to engage, I have to crack jokes, I have to create a business document, a proposal. After 20 years, of course, you can manage all this. But the moment you say, okay, कि आपको कुछ legal कुछ करना है, yes, there are certain aspects of language you have to explain it to someone. I might not be able to do that. But business and everything, daily parties, contracts, business decisions, everything is Japanese, and I think I can manage that. That said, my Japanese customer will say, maybe there are Japanese, and they'll improve my Japanese in a certain way, and then you would like that actually, because उनको भी सिखाने का रहता है, and then you as a student, you always, language is a lifelong, like it's a learning experience, right? You continue to learn always. So, but I can carry myself too.
I think your wife Prachi, she can also speak Japanese.
She speaks Japanese.
Yeah, and she's the MD, isn't it? Am I right?
She's the MD of our company, and then her Japanese language, I think it's more in that sense natural. As in, so what happens is in Japan, हम लोगों का सवाल is arranged marriage. हम लोग इधर से शादी करके गए उधर, and then when you are newly married, that time what happens is typical Japanese will not talk to you that much. But the moment you are carrying a kid around with you, some Japanese grandmother kind of lady will stop, and but then you have to respond like you say good morning or good. So she had to learn Japanese. So she learned Japanese like in a very colloquial way, like the Japanese way. At least in our case, I had studied some Japanese in Pune. So as I was mentioning, in Pune there is an Indo-Japanese Association. There's Ranade Institute, and now Abhido there's still Vidyapet and there's so many institutes. But in those days, there was Indo-Japanese and Ranade. So we had studied some Japanese. So we had some base. But for Prachi, she went there not knowing anything, but directly learned with like talking to the moms. And you have to like indulge with yourself because you are taking your kid to the garden. There are fellow moms, you start talking to them, they talk to you. And that's the way she learned directly Japanese. Good part of Japanese language is like most of the grammar, the placement is like similar to Marathi or Hindi or Tamil and so on. So in our case, what happens is many times people like if I've studied in Marathi medium, talking in English, I have to first construct that sentence in my mind in English, then I'll speak. But the moment in Japanese, because the placement of subject object verb, मैं पाठशाला जाता या मैं पाठशाला जाना, the verb comes at the last. But in English, we'll say I go school, I go to school. Verb comes in between. So Japanese also verb will be at the last. So the way you are thinking in Marathi or Hindi, आप वैसा वैसा बात कर सकते हैं. And that's why I think for Indians, picking up Japanese in that sense, especially spoken, is comparatively easy.
Okay. Sunil, I also want to know one thing. What made you take over a Japanese company? ये ख्याल कैसे आया? What?
अभी कैसा है ना कि so 3 years back we went public, NSE exchange. So earlier that we were running the company in a very typical Maharashtrian style. चल रहा है आराम से चल रहा है, private है, nobody's asking us what you're doing and so on. But the moment we went public, we had to change ourselves. growth,
Hmm.
quarterly results,
Hmm.
this, that. And then in Japan, what happens is you are growing a certain way.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, getting into core Japanese companies or ability to hire really, really Japanese people or engineers
Hmm.
is, in that sense, is difficult for foreign companies.
Hmm.
Suddenly, I go out there and say, you want to hire 50 Japanese people.
Hmm.
Very difficult. Because then, yeah. There's a lifelong employment tax. So people are working in some companies, they'll not leave.
Hmm.
They'll not be available on LinkedIn. So as today, if you go on LinkedIn in India,
Hmm.
you find so many people on LinkedIn. But if you go to Japan, there are not many people on LinkedIn because they are not coming there to search a job or anything. Right?
Hmm.
There will be more on Twitter, there will be more on Facebook.
Hmm.
But LinkedIn पे आपको Japanese उतना नहीं दिखेगा.
Oh, very interesting बात.
So now how to find all these Japanese engineers and so on. So if you have to grow in Japan,
Hmm.
there is always this challenge. Now we had this client which the company that we acquired,
Hmm.
they were my clients for the last 20 years. I knew them. Not that they were giving us throughout every year any business. कभी एक business हो गया, next 2 साल कुछ नहीं, then again they would give us something. But in Japan, you always keep in touch with people, right? You never go home directly. You'll always go with someone somewhere outside in a restaurant, grab, and then move out. So I was in touch with them. We were doing some business, and in Japan also, like India these days, there is this companies also where the CEO has gone to 80 years or 70 years, and there's not much of succession plan. अभी वैसा इंडिया में भी दिख रहा है. Japan also has this kind. So we were also trying to grow. We had a customer who knew us about us. It all gelled well. The timing was good. It was just we never planned that way. Like, it is always disrespectful. You cannot ask someone suddenly, "अरे आपको बेचने का है क्या company?" So it is never happens that way. But it happened so smoothly that they were like the CEO or the founder. I know my client. He was worried about this. We were worried about how we can grow. दोनों आगे कर रहे थे. Why not come together? It happened so smoothly. Really happy that. So now with this, we get a team of around 150 Japanese members in Japan. They have a 30-year history. They have marquee customers. Like some customers, even I wouldn't be able to walk in directly after, despite having been there for 20-25. So I think in our parlance, they always ask investors, बोलते हैं कि अरे तुम्हारा कंपनी का मोड क्या है? And I say that Japan is one of the biggest moves. Japan में ऐसा आके कोई एकदम direct customer नहीं मिलता है आपको यार. You cannot walk into a customer. So now we have almost 150-200 people in Japan. We have key some marquee customers, and so all of this was possible with this acquisition. So I think in that sense, I'm really happy that it happened.
Sunil, you are the chairman of the company. Wife Prachi, she is the managing director. अब ऑफिस का बोर्डरूम प्रॉब्लम्स घर में नहीं आए, इसके लिए आप क्या करते हैं? क्या मशक्कत करनी पड़ती होगी?
नहीं, I think it goes both ways. It helps in that sense. Listen, doctors marry doctors. Then they know each other. इसको लेट हो रहा है, रात को ऐसा हो रहा है, शिफ्ट है. They understand. Right? Likewise, like after 20 years of entrepreneurship, and then what happened is in 2012 or 13, we moved family here in Pune. So and of course there's some business issues, but business का भी एक thought रहता है. But I think one of our thoughts was the kids are also growing, and they are also growing in Japan. They can speak Japanese, and they are going and everything. They are in that society. But the moment they'll come out to India or go someplace, वो क्यों में ही खड़ा रहेगा. But इधर क्यों में चलेगा नहीं ना. You have to be street smart. You have to do many things. So we were also thinking that where they should also have that India flavor as in. So 2012-13 we moved family. The Prachi and kids came here. Kids initial उनका भी struggle था कि they have to adjust here, but now they can successfully navigate a rickshaw wala, or they can they really are happy that they have like they can read Marathi now. Because otherwise क्या होता है वो they can read Japanese पर इधर मराठी नहीं पढ़ने आया तो कैसे आएगा तो yeah. And now again they can go anywhere in the world, but they have experienced India. So in that sense, then she started looking after the India office. That gave me look, I would shut between Japan and India, and then she was managing here. Parents were happy, and I think in that sense, while you talk at home as well about business is that, but it helps because you don't have to explain why you are doing this or you are so. And she's also an IT engineer, like a computer engineer. It gelled well. I don't think like that was. Rather, it helped us in our case.
So good. अच्छा Sunil, tell me one thing. After going to Japan, ऐसा कोई इंटरेस्टिंग इंसिडेंट या वर्क कल्चर या जापानीज का उसका जो विच यू फाउंड इट लिटिल स्ट्रेंज और फनी वहाँ का?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of such things that there are many things and they are so interesting sometimes I feel. One is क्या है ना कि Japan में so like for example they always see a horizon as like 100 years.
अच्छा.
I mean for example so I'm like 50 plus now, right? Till even 10 years back, my customer would say, Arey, why you are always asking about business or running around so much? Make all mistakes till 50, 55. उसके बाद you can be serious. And I would say, boss, तब तक तो मेरा retirement का time जाएगा. But वो retirement ऐसा 60 का नहीं सोचता. Even in Japan now, I think the official retirement has gone to 65 and 70.
Okay.
Because आप लोग like मैं तो 100 साल जीने वाला हूँ tax. ऐसे they think. So why you are doing all this? But in the Indian context, by 22 you have to get graduated. 23, 24 you have to have a job. By 25, 28 marry. 30 kid. तो अपने पास एक रहता है कि by 40 you have to be successful or do something else. But for them I said you do mistakes and everything and you can. So that always like resonates with me. We are sometimes too in a rush or something. 100 years का horizon है. You have a long-term thought process. Two is I think many times what happens is that relationship जो हम लोग बोलते हैं ना Japan, like you must have also read कि once you connect with Japanese, it might take initially some time, but then it becomes a very long kind of relationship. So there are like I mean let's say take June है. June 30th, I'm sitting with some customer and he'll immediately see Sunil, normally you are like this. Today you are like not like your face is giving something. So मेरे business अभी क्या कुछ orders नहीं मिला है मतलब especially next month तो मेरा कुछ ऐसा problem दिख रहा है. अभी now I'm just saying right. So this guy say oh ऐसा why don't you come tomorrow? And we were thinking about some 10-man project. Meet Sato and he will give you that one.
अरे वाह.
Can you so उसका दिमाग में क्या रहता है कि I don't want you to fall down or I don't want you to declare bankruptcy tomorrow. You need, but he will never give you too much of business also. तो मैं बोलता है अरे और मुझे business दो. नहीं अभी तेरे को वो पहले कर and declare type से. So in that sense there were many instances where in a way my customer has bailed me out because of the relationship, of course. This I find or this I mentioned about तो अभी 30th हो गया, June 30 हो गया, so we'll raise invoices. Sometimes you forget. Right? मेरे को 10th या 12th को जापानीज कस्टमर का फोन आएगा. Kulkarni-san, oh you have not raised invoice, please raise invoice fast because I have to process it. they will push you to
यहाँ तो बार बार हमको करना
like
पड़ेगा.
a खुशी का like sending an invoice is the most amazing happiest time as an entrepreneur, right? क्योंकि तुम लोग invoice भेज रहे हैं आप लोग से. So I would be surprised initially कि boss, this guy is running behind me, my client, and asking me to send an invoice. So these instances I've never found in other geographies there, where the customer is ensuring that you don't fall down, or you are at least able to survive. They will not give you. बाकी तो काम वैसा हम लोग ढूंढते ही रहते हैं. If there are like tsunami था, 2011 there was tsunami, 2008 there was Lehman shock, 2000 there was all this dot-com this thing burst. So there are cycles, but they will ensure that you overcome that cycle. Then you are doing business on your own and you're like, that was amazing.
What is one thing that you should not do with a Japanese client?
There are many things. But I think
Which is permissible in India, but वहाँ पर it is looked down upon.
I think I don't. अभी क्या है ना कि अभी what two things that you learn in Japan while doing business. First of all, if you can do, then only try to take it.
Okay.
And if you cannot, or you have not done it, tell upfront. I mean, let's say there's a new project in embedded design, for example. हम लोगों ने embedded का आज तक काम नहीं किया. अब मुझे काम भी चाहिए. So my approach will be कि अरे I want this work. I think I can do it, but we have not done this in past. So you have given them that there is a possible risk here, but we can. So I think this transparency or this upfront communication is really, really helpful in Japan because you have to continuously communicate, and that high cost of servicing a client. In Japan, if I deliver you something, I have to maintain it almost for 1 year, whether it's written in the contract or not. They have like so they'll ask you sometime after 6 months, अरे उसका क्या हो गया ये, or we are unable to do something. You have to ensure that you are giving that due attention to that. You cannot say अरे वो हो गया तब project अभी आप we cannot. So you are maintaining that. So I think Japan में you cannot do any rush job, or you have to be prepared. Many times I find Indian companies or like fellow foreign companies who come to Japan, they are not that prepared. आपको उनके लेवल पे घुसना है तो you have better get like come very prepared. And they will respect that. They will listen to it carefully. So I think most of the business principles are same everywhere. You go to India, you don't try to go behind the customer's back and do something else. So वो तो सब जगह है. But in Japan, precisely I feel that communication, there is huge impetus on communication. Continuously, if there is a slight delay, you don't declare it on the last day. इधर ही पहला बोल दो कि अरे मेरे को दिख रहा है वो 30th नहीं हो जाएगा. So we will listen to it. He might shout, but they understand that you have doing whatever it takes to deliver. So that communication, I think, if you take care, talk to Japan, I'm sure.
Or since you have taken over a Japanese company, कल्चरल प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं आता क्या वर्कफ्लोस में, क्योंकि हमारा कल्चर अलग है, उनका कल्चर अलग है, ये क्या है इसके बारे में?
आता है. हाँ. अभी इसमें क्या है? What we have learned. So in last 10 years, in a way we have done this M&As in small ways. In Japan, like this is my third time. छोटा पहला ऐसा बड़ा नहीं. This is one of the biggest in that sense. 100 लोग हम लोग ले रहे हैं. But what I've learned is you don't try to bring in some like हम लोग आके सब चेंज करने वाले टाइप से सर. हम लोग एकदम or you don't come with like we are coming as an acquirer. So अभी हम in English we say we acquired this that, but in Japanese some word we use sanryu. We are coming together.
Okay.
ऐसा word हम use करते हैं. तो हम लोग ऐसा acquire ऐसा बोलते हैं. क्योंकि फिर वो कुछ भी करो. If you start tomorrow say we are acquiring Fidel, तो मन में अरे ये
हम्म।
थोड़ा
बड़ा भाई है वो।
बड़ा भाई, ऐसा बड़ा भाई, हम तो साथ में ही थे
हम्म।
because they know their customers. They have been in business more than me, like 30 years. I cannot come in and say
हम्म।
because I am something. So,
हम्म।
so we and then we try to understand पहला इसका process क्या है, एक कैसे करते हैं. अभी in Japan there are good things. One on long-term relationships,
हम्म।
strong business,
हम्म।
good deeper expertise. ये strong है. The down meaning the problem point should be from our side.
हम्म।
Margins are low.
हम्म।
बिजनेस टेक्स टाइम टू अभी उसको वो कस्टमर से भी वो ऐसे बात करता बैठेगा या कस्टमर को 3 साल पहले कुछ सर्विस दिया है एंड अभी भी उतना ही उसमें वो अभी हम लोग बोलते हैं यार इतना करने की जरूरत नहीं होगा वी आर स्पेंडिंग सो मच मनी राइट बट द कॉस्ट ऑफ सर्विसिंग द कस्टमर इज हाई so you understand you try to bring them so we flew some of them to India for a week हमारे लोगों से मिलवाया हमारे एक दो लोग उधर गए we try to so there are problems always there is always this doubt trust this thing good part in our case was we were already knowing them last 20 years we had worked in between the CEO and founder I know them from like 2005 our team members their team members have in past met so thoda it helped us and I think we have never gone out and suddenly tried to acquire unknown एकदम sudden ऐसा रहेगा तो because then it gels well you know each other and so cultural there are issues always margin ka we'll ask for this much profit we want speed they will not look at speed we'll go like so sometimes I say अरे मेरा कल परसों 3 दिन में मेरा इसके साथ मीटिंग्स बोला नहीं नहीं ये नहीं so but then you don't come with your call like I am the CEO ऐसा करो वैसा करो पर उसका भी रीजन है of course you have to sometimes bring your own thought कि बाबा नहीं कल तक आपका था अभी से हम and but then you explain the reason and Japanese will understand because now we are a public limited company we have to do this तो वो समझ जाता है
एक one thing which always makes news about Japanese work culture for the wrong reason is that the karoshi correct me if I'm wrong the word karoshi na the because of deaths due to excessive burnout ये क्या है can you elaborate on this aspect and ये so how ये चीज के बारे में
तो ऐसा है ना कि थोड़ा after World War I think in Japan all are very proud nationalistic Japanese people country Japan ऐसा तो there was a point where there was a necessity कि 18-18 20-20 घंटा काम करने करेगा नहीं तो कंट्री कैसा खड़ा करेगा so अपनी that generation really tried hard worked hard and let's say from 50s to 80s it's really hard from 80s 90s what happened Japan had become rich everything so if you look बाद में उतना नेसेसिटी था क्या नहीं बट सम ऑफ द कल्चरल पार्ट कंटिन्यूड कि काम इतना करने का है अभी अभी हम लाइक माय डैड वुड वर्क और वॉक और डू दिस थिंग इज हेल्दी इन 80 अभी एट 655 ओनली हम लोग बोलते हैं कि घुटना दुख रहा है गर्दन ऐसा हो रहा है थैंक्स so I think every generation wouldn't want to mean there are other challenges so now there are more mental challenges or there are more other this thing but physical endurance or working those long hours or standing and working those hours. Next generation. So, thoda, it was not perceived in a way. And secondly, as I said, that you're building the nation. So nobody is asking you, तेरे को क्या पसंद है, तेरा passion क्या है, वो ऐसे नहीं. इधर खड़ा रहे, like you have to start working. अब in our हम लोगों के टाइम में भी हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, अरे जॉब भी जो मिल रहा है वो ले लो पहले जॉब ऑटोमेटिकली लाइक मैरिज में होते ना अरेंज मैरिज में पहले शादी कर ले बाद में लव हो जाएगा वैसा ही काम में था यू नेवर गॉट कि मुझे ये चॉइस है ऐसा चाहिए बट द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन हैज थिंग्स इंप्रूव एवरी कंट्री विल गो इन दैट कि आज इंडिया में भी यंगस्टर्स विल से नहीं मेरे को ये नहीं करने का मेरे को आई वांट टू बी दिस और आई वांट टू बी अ यूट्यूबर आई वांट टू बी अ एआई प्रोग्रामर So that luxury earlier generations didn't have. They continue to work hard. But now, थोड़ा सा जिधर भी एक्सेस होता है, and then people will fall down or fall sick or would start hating their company or do something. So the Japan government is also is like pushing uh, you have to leave company or you have to take so many leaves in a year or in a month, in a week, at least 3 days you have to leave company at time, 6 o'clock. And in our own company, I have to force many times my Japanese colleagues कि अरे बाबा छुट्टी लो बाबा नहीं तो वो अच्छा नहीं रहेगा कोई तो आके बोल देगा यार तुम्हारे कंपनी में कोई छुट्टी क्यों नहीं लेता but the culture has formed. I mean, many times, if I go home early, my wife will doubt कि यार तेरा जॉब भी गया है क्या एकदम because जल्दी आने का आदत हम लोग को भी नहीं है because you have to work and as हमको भी इधर लगता है कि like Fidel also we are in the process of building the company. I think you might cross certain revenues this that but still technologies change companies you are always trying to build and so on. So Japan में थोड़ा अभी now you'll see a lot of reducing. Of course, in manufacturing थोड़ा ज़्यादा रहेगा, but now eventually Japan is also trying to become a knowledge-based society. अभी India में भी India of course move to services first and अभी manufacturing में जा रहा है. But in manufacturing you require that endurance and so on.
Where do you see Fiddlesoft in the next 5 years?
So so there are first is we want to ensure that we sustain all these new things that are coming up and but I think in last 4 years we have done a decent job where when we went public on the NSE SME exchange we were doing around 25 crores of revenues and this March we closed around 100. So we have embarked on a journey for ourselves that we'll at least aim for or aspire for 100 to 500 crores in next 5 years. So what we are saying is 5x in 5 years by 2030, 31. Because we have already done 4x in 4 years kind of 5x in 5 years. So but again it's good to aspire. We'll put our efforts. Because but so this is on the number side. On the other side, I believe that we have a good relationship with Japan. We want to leverage more on that. Recently, PM Takaichi-san had come, PM Modi-ji, they decided upon new initiatives. So we believe that we can contribute to that because last 20 years we are working between Japan and India. We understand to a certain extent how Japanese people think so can we bring in certain manufacturing companies to Maharashtra, Pune or India in general? Or can we bring in some GCCs here and so on. So we believe that can we contribute in building bridges between Japan and India. So that's one. And thirdly is क्या होता है कि it's our of course there's mandatory CSR that we do, but I think we have to work towards creating more jobs and contribute to the community and so on. So we are also not shying away from moving or diversifying into new areas. So for example, this March we announced that we'll form a new division, kind of high-tech solutions. Under that umbrella, we are looking into smart manufacturing or electronics and so on. So we are not looking at only just the software development or the language, kind of moving into data analytics. AI, of course, is kind of bread and butter for us. But even like manufacturing and other divisions. So recently we had a customer just last week we started with a pilot. But if things go well in next 3 years, we plan to hire more youngsters, 500,000 and so on. So if all goes well, we don't want to keep it limited to Pune. We want to see if we can create small hubs in and around Maharashtra. So then you think positively, you work for it.
That's wonderful, Sunil. Thank you for attending my podcast, and I'm sure the things which you have said, even our readers will be very much interested in that. So, friends, that was Sunil Kulkarni, the CMD of Fiddlesoft, a Pune-based company which bought a Japanese company. Mr. Sunil gave a great idea about what made him tick, his secret of success, the challenges that he faced, And if you have liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. So we meet again next week on Saturday with yet another visionary business leader. Thank you.